Alright, so today we're going to be making some sauteed apples. Before we get started though, a couple key things is that you want to make sure underneath your cutting board you have something damp. I just have a dampened paper towel to make sure that it doesn't really move. You also, just a little refresher from the knife skills, you want to make sure that you hold your knife kind of like an OK symbol, like OK, and then wrap your fingers around it. So you want it to be sort of in the hilt and look like that. So now that we have that refresher, I have my apples. They've already been washed, and I'm just going to go ahead, peel them and core them, and I'll be using a peeler. So the first one is peeled. We're going to go ahead and core that, and then I'm going to start peeling the second one. But as this is happening, I have put some butter on our pan, and I'm just letting it start to melt. So I have that started over on medium heat. Alright, so we have our butter in our pan, and it's going ahead and starting to heat up over medium heat. We have the rest of our ingredients over here, minus obviously the butter and also the water that we're going to let that melt and take care of these apples and prep them to go into the pan. Alright, so I don't have something to core the apples, so I'm just going to be taking my knife, holding it how we showed before, and I already cut off one half, and I'm just going to be cutting off around the core of the apple. You always want to make sure when you're holding things that you're holding it with your knuckles. You don't have any loose end of your fingers exposed that might get chopped off. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Got a little bit of the core on here, so I'm just going to cut that off. Alright, so we have one of them ready. I'm just going to do the exact same thing with that second apple. Alrighty, so now that we have these poured out, I'm just going to chop off. Alright, and then I'm just going to be slicing these to about a 1/4 inch size for each of them, just so that they can all sort of cook around about the same amount of time. It's really important to make sure that your food is about the same size so that you can have that even cook. You don't have to worry about some pieces being burnt and some pieces being not even really affected. If everything's at the same size roughly, then everything's going to be cooked about the same amount of time as well. I'm going to take these and put them into our pan over there. Alright, so we've added the apples in with our melted butter, and we're just going to let these sort of simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes. Let them get a little softened and let their flavors really come out. While that's going and simmering, I'm just going to go ahead and start on the sauce that's going to go with it. Every now and then you're going to see me disappear. It's just so I can make sure that I'm stirring it pretty consistently. So I'll put it like this. You want to make sure that you're stirring it consistently so everything kind of gets hit by the same amount of heat for the same duration of time. You don't want the same side to be cooked for too long. So we're just going to make sure that we let everything cook evenly. Alright, and then as we're waiting for that to get going, to get finished more so, I'm going to go ahead and just add 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. So I have some gluten-free cornstarch over here, and I'm just going to add it to the water. And I have a 1/4 cup of water. And then I'm just going to let it dissolve and kind of stir it in a little bit. And it looks like we have about 1 minute left on these apples here. And I'm just going to stir in the cornstarch and make sure that it dissolves into our water. And then once the time is up, we're going to add this to our apples over there. Alright, so a little check-in. My timer just went off, so we're ready to go ahead and add in our cornstarch and water concoction into here. Just going to add that in, lower the heat a little bit, stir it around, and let this sauce sort of sit for a second before we start adding everything else in. So we're just going to let this sort of sit here for about 2 minutes, and then we'll start adding in our cinnamon and our brown sugar as well. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add in 1/4 of a teaspoon of our ground cinnamon. We're going to stir that up, let everything get coated by that. And once I've stirred this in, I'm going to add in our 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Alright, so I just stirred in the brown sugar, and I'm just going to let this sit here over the medium heat still for about 2 more minutes, and then we should be all done. Alright, so it just finished for the timer, and a lot of the sauce is sort of boiled off. So now we have our apples left. So this would go great with ice cream or with some type of whipped topping. But I think I'm going to have it with ice cream. So I'm going to go ahead and make a plate, and then we can see the final